No, Matthew, I'm not doing it.
Jim,
I'm not doing it because that means that Series 8 is well and truly finished.
James, and also the fact that, but before anyone actually questions this, we did put a poll up and more people voted in favour of the intros. 72 people wanted the intros, 52 didn't. So we're still doing the intros, which means you need to sit down and do the intro for the last review of Series 8.
But Matthew, that means I need to accept that Series 8 is over. Can't I just pretend it's Deep Breath again?
Okay.
Okay. Hello there, guys. Welcome to our review of Deep Breath. This is going to be absolutely brilliant, isn't it? I can't wait for Series 8.
This is our final review of Series 8, Death in Heaven.
Where'd you get that title from, Matthew? Death in Heaven sounds like a really good title for a finale, doesn't it?
Thank you very much. Seriously though, here's our review of the final episode of the series. Deal with it.
It's the season finale of Doctor Who, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sorry, I got a little bit too excited there.
Yeah, tiny bit.
Yeah, sorry. But yes, it is the season finale of Doctor Who, the season finale.
It's over.
It's over. The season is over of Doctor Who. Well, we've only got to wait a month, and then it's only on for one night, and then we've got to wait possibly another 9 months.
Yeah.
The wait is going to start again. I hate it.
But anyway, yes.
But yes, so diving straight into Death in Heaven.
We've literally got so many notes.
Yes, we have got so many notes.
We're just going to do this.
But of course, we are not. Of course, you can't isolate Death in Heaven while also talking about Dark Water. So we are going to be making with our conclusions later. We are going to be making an overall rating of both the individual rating for Death in Heaven and also a rating for the whole finale, including Dark Water. Yeah. So let's go straight into the titles. Yes. Now, Clara saying the words "I'm the Doctor,"
pretending to be the Doctor.
Yeah, pretending to be the Doctor. It was as I was dreading. It was to distract the Cybermen. It was to make sure that she stayed alive long enough for someone to save her. Now that's fine. That's fine. But
it was fine how they did it. But I can see how it misled.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
But what the hell went on with the graphics team or Stephen Moffat or whoever made this decision to decide to change the fucking titles? Now, it is only titles, so I really shouldn't attach too much importance to this, but what was the point in dedicating the entire titles to something that wasn't even all that important to the plot?
Yeah.
It was literally something that just kept Clara alive. She used the knowledge that she gained going through the Doctor's timeline in the name of the Doctor, probably. She used all of that knowledge that she already knew about the Doctor.
Which led to some great nostalgic references.
Yeah, yes, it did, yeah. Clara was doing that to distract herself by the Cybermen. But why did they have to... For those of you who, just distract yourselves for a second while the opening titles are on and don't actually watch them, Jenna Coleman's name came first, then Peter Capaldi, and then instead of Peter Capaldi's eyes, it was Jenna's. Right? Now, why would you dedicate the entire title sequence to a gag?
Now, don't worry, guys. We're not going to be saying that this has affected the story or our rating. Before you keyboard warriors are going to be sat there going, "You are nitpicking. This is affecting that." No, this is not going to affect the rating. This is not going to affect how we think our thoughts on the episode. It's a title sequence.
You'll
for God's
see that
sake.
with our ratings.
But Clara pretending to be the Doctor was underwhelming and misleading to some people. They did use it well. But I don't get why they changed the titles round. I mean, I just don't see the point of that. It's just like they wasted so much time swapping them round when they could have been doing something else. It just,
Yeah, it's a nitpick. They could have spent all that money they used to probably change the title sequence to make the CGIs better for the flying Cybermen.
We'll get
That's
to that.
all I'm saying.
Unit then made a grand entrance, which was nice.
Which you will know. I just think that the unit was very, very misused in this episode. In fact, I don't even know what the hell they were used for. you'll see that when I rant on about how easy it was for Missy to escape.
But yeah, we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
But when all the people surrounded by the Cybermen and was taking selfies with them, I was kind of thinking, okay, this is making the Cybermen look a bit silly. But then when Unit turned around and got their guns out on them, that was pretty awesome. And Kate made her entrance, dropped a classic Cyberman on the floor, and then said to the Doctor, haircut, and it was just like, such...
Had a bit of a trim,
brilliant entrance.
Yeah, and we were saying this while also watching it. I mean, Kate Stewart, the last time we saw Kate Stewart, she was faced with 3 completely different Doctors. She may not have been there for the whole 13 Doctors moment, but she was probably told about it. And, but yeah... So she was faced with 3 completely different Doctors. I think she's going to take regeneration, the idea of regeneration, with ease now. And the fact that she grew up with Brigadier, her father, and Brigadier's met 3 different Doctors. No, 4. 5 different Doctors.
6.
Yeah, exactly.
6.
And she has met
7.
Yeah, okay,
I don't know.
Okay, whatever. But right, her father has met 5 different incarnations of the Doctor, and she's met 3 of them, 4 of them actually. So yeah, so I mean, come on, she is going to take regeneration with ease now. So of course, she's going to be like haircut. So
brilliant.
Yeah, she's taking it with ease, which was quite a good joke, I think.
Yeah.
So yes, now the cyber pulling, a Cyberman exploding and then spreading it all across graveyards and spreading it across the dead, upgrading them to Cybermen. Was that a good enough plot device to keep the plot moving? Did you think that was a good? I thought it was good. I thought it was very good.
I liked the thought of the clouds and rain on the graveyards. Obviously, I think that was a very good idea. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But one thing that I must point out is the Cybermen flying wasn't overused, and even you admit that it wasn't as bad as you originally thought.
No, it wasn't
But going
as bad.
back to what we were saying is the CGI wasn't great.
Yeah, the CGI was actually quite awful for the flying Cybermen, and I know that money was probably tight. I mean, actually, no.
I like the flying Cybermen.
No. The show is now 51 years old. In fact, 51 years old this month. Bloody hell!
God.
Yeah, it's going to be 51 years old this month. It's just last year it had its biggest year ever. So yeah, they should be floating in money now.
Apparently, though, the BBC are so tight that they've actually got a smaller budget now than they did in the Russell era.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, flying Cybermen.
Where the hell is the rest of the money going towards? Anyway,
BBC executives and probably all the paedophiles that are in prison. But but seriously, do you agree that the flying Cybermen were not actually as overused and not as, because we were worried that would make them overpowered, and it didn't actually. So are you also coming to terms with the flying Cybermen?
Yeah, I am actually coming to terms with it. Maybe that's just because the Cybermen didn't actually kill anyone.
Yeah.
A Cyberman did sort of that captain
pulled him out the window.
Yeah, he pulled him out the window. But
technically they were responsible for taking down a whole plane of people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess they technically did kill people, I guess, but that's just something that terrorists could have done easily.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, any normal human being with the right firepower, with the right weaponry, they could easily have taken down that plane. So on Cybermen standards, they didn't really kill anyone.
Yeah, compared to how they have in the past.
Yeah.
So was Flying Cybermen for you okay?
It was okay. It was not as bad as I would have expected.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, but I was constantly going da 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 da.
Okay.
Sorry, just when I saw Flying Cybermen, I just thought of saying, "I am Cyberman."
But seriously, when they took down the plane, that was quite an awesome scene because I noticed one Cyberman on the wing was literally headbutting the wing until it came back. Clearly a mentally unstable Cyberman, but I thought that them taking down the plane was actually quite awesome. What I've got next in my notes is the explanation of the Master's return.
Yeah.
That is something that we put a lot of pressure on in our Dark Water review. We said, and in our Death in Heaven preview, we said that they have to justify how the Master came back. And they kind of did, by saying that the Doctor saved Gallifrey and that was where the Master was. She wasn't in the Pocket Universe or anything like that. She was on Gallifrey in the Time Warp. Were you okay with
I guess I was perfectly fine. I guess I was okay with it. I mean, as Stephen Moffat did say in Doctor Who Extra, Anthony Ainley, in almost every one of his appearances, his only justification to returning was, "I escaped." You know, so and people and people weren't questioning that. They were perfectly fine with it. It was the frickin' master. Don't complain. You know, so I guess that was a very justified way, because obviously the events in the Day of the Doctor will have changed things substantially. It will have changed things and swapped things around a little bit that probably didn't happen anymore. Which I don't know where exactly that leaves the impact that the End of Time made. But still, it's an explanation I'm happy with.
Yeah, I guess I am too.
But going on to more is of course Osgood's death.
Wow.
Yes, going on to that. Now that was unexpected, because she was only introduced in the Day of the Doctor last year, and she is basically the Whovian of within the show. And seriously, she's a lovely character, and she died in such an unneeded, such a sad, and yet such a merciless way.
I loved it.
Yeah, and I mean, she died actually trying to reason with the Master, but in the end, it literally did her no good.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Now, first of all, so much just popped into my head. They never actually justified John Sim to Michelle Gomez.
No.
They never justified that.
They didn't, and I guess maybe they don't have to. I mean,
depends how the Time War was rewritten, because technically the Master left Gallifrey as Derek Jacobi.
Yeah.
So John Sim's Master would have never happened. But then that would make John Sim's Master completely...
I have learnt a lesson here. Never try and make sense out of Doctor Who chronology, because Stephen Moffat will just fuck it up for you.
Yeah, but anyway, to the Master killing Osgood, as emotional and as merciless, and the Master should no hesitation. That scene made Missy's Master for me.
Yeah.
But my goodness, what the fricking hell were them unit guards doing?
I know. This is exactly what made UNIT redundant for me, right? There are two.
Hire some new guards.
Exactly. Hire some new guards. Please, for the love of God. Why the hell are they on the payroll? Because I swear to God, right, they were thick as fuck. I swear, they were stood behind Missy. Missy was undoing her handcuffs right in front of their eyes.
And she whispered to Osgood that that line where she whispered, "I'm going to kill you in a minute." Let me just say,
that was loud enough for them to hear.
That was one hell of a frickin' line.
Yeah.
But then the way she whispered, "Oh, it's our girly secret. Don't tell the boys."
Yeah.
And then Osgood just goes, "Why would you want to kill me? I'm not important." Right in front of them.
Yeah.
And they don't happen to think, she's going to kill him.
Yeah.
We should shoot the Master. Instead, they just stood there and watched.
They don't think about these things.
And then all of a sudden, the Master jumped from being handcuffed to then around Osgood's neck. I mean, they were still stood there while she had Osgood around the neck. And they still stood there, like, "Oh, how are you doing, Dave?" "Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you doing? How's the family?" They didn't do anything.
Oh my God! I mean, seriously, this is what made UNIT. Honestly, UNIT is, I think, in my opinion, honestly...
They've had budget cuts.
Yeah, they have. I mean, UNIT had a more effective way of dealing with things in the bloody 70s with John Pertwee's Doctor than they do in 2014. I mean, it's just... oh my God, that was just unbelievable.
Let's not take anything away from how the Master killed Osgood.
I know, that you're right. That made Missy's Master for me as well. The way she didn't hesitate to throw Kate out of that plane.
She didn't hesitate to go for Clara
exactly.
later on either.
I know, she didn't... I mean, honestly, if the Doctor hadn't have intersected the... Missy trying to kill Clara, I think she would have went for it. In fact, wouldn't have hesitated.
That's what I think Missy's got over other Masters, is that other Masters would probably want to take them hostage or use them to their advantage. But this Master just wanted to all out kill people.
Yeah.
She wasn't bothered about how they could benefit her. She just wanted to kill.
I know. I mean, John Sim's Master had taken Martha Jones's family hostage. Didn't hesitate to... Well, then again, the Master didn't even really kill the President of the United States. He just ordered the Toclafane to kill him.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The Master will actually get his hands dirty. the Master was in charge of the Cybermen, so I just expected that Missy would just be getting the Cybermen to do all her dirty deeds.
She did more killing than they did.
Exactly. Honestly, this is what Missy had over any other Master, because the Master would take people hostage, tell the Doctor or anyone else his plans to destroy the Earth, and then he'd just easily be defeated, right? And Missy was not actually easily defeated in this.
And she wasn't actually a typical Moffat girl.
No.
As well. I mean, yes...
She was in Dark Water.
Yes, there was a kiss, which, again, was just like, why? But Missy was more the Master than a female Moffat character in this.
Yeah.
And I've got to kind of applaud Moffat for not getting lost in his sexual needs while writing.
Yeah. Because, honestly, thinking back to Dark Water, I don't get it how Missy can go from... honestly, Missy in Dark Water went from classic Moffat girl, just flirty in every sense of the word, and then then next week she is mercilessly killing people. It's like Dr. Chang. Killing off Dr. Chang was like, yeah, I'm getting into this. I'm gonna kill it. Osgood, kill Clara. So there was just like, it's like killing Dr. Chang kind of flipped a switch in Missy's brain. Just like, I'll kill anyone. So it was kind of a surprise. So yeah, Missy has been the Master has acted like the Master more so than any other Master I've seen.
I mean, I'll give her that. She was a good Master, but her motives in this...
Yeah.
This is the problem. She was written well, but her motives were underwhelming, and I would have wanted a lot more screen time with her.
Yeah.
You pointed this out, and I actually didn't notice this at all, and I've watched it a few times. What was the positives in putting the Doctor and Clara together? Because I said to you, she put the Doctor and Clara together, that's done the Doctor more benefits than it has the Master, because Clara ended up saving all his victories, ended up influencing him to be the Doctor as a child. She also influenced him to steal a TARDIS at the very beginning. Clara's been a bit overpowered as a companion, so she's done more for the Doctor than any other companion. So what good would that do Missy? Why would she put them together when it's only going to benefit the Doctor?
Yeah, and Missy's... even the Doctor asked Missy, why would you put us together? And Missy's only rebuttal to that was, because she's perfect for you. The control freak and the man who should not be controlled. Was that just... honestly, that seemed to me like it was just a little dig at the Doctor because, you can't be controlled, stuff like that. So that just seemed to me like it was just a dig at him.
Yeah.
What good did this do Missy? Putting these two together, that did the Doctor more good than bad. And I just don't see what Missy's motives were for this. I'm sorry, but...
it tied up a lot of, the woman in the shop and stuff.
I know, but still.
But it still doesn't really benefit the Master at all.
No.
It makes sense, but why? Why would she do that? I don't know. And then finally, the best death of the episode, Seb.
Yes.
Thank God Missy killed him.
Oh my God, that
Mission
was the best part of the episode, hands down. Seriously.
Oh.
Honestly, I applauded. I am genuinely going to say this. I was clapping. I was like, thank God, thank you, Missy. My God. Seriously, I was like, when Osgood died, I was like, oh, Missy, you bitch. And then when Seb died, I was like, yes, thank you, Missy, thank you. Honestly, Seb, the worst, most annoying character in Doctor Who ever.
Well.
And yes, I
more annoying than the Welsh guy in The Web of Fear.
Okay, don't go that far.
No.
No, it was just his voice that was annoying in that one. But, honestly, I'm glad she killed Seb. That was an absolutely amazing death. And the fact he died in the middle of a sentence was brilliant.
Yeah. Moving on from the Master, let's talk about Danny as a Cyberman.
Yeah.
This was my favourite part of the episode. It was so predictable, yet very emotional.
Yeah. You knew that. I think everyone kind of knew that as soon as Danny died, that he's going to come back as a Cyberman.
Yeah.
I think that there were a lot of theories on this, and a lot of people had pretty much said Danny's going to come back as a Cyberman. So
But I don't think anyone expected him to have emotions.
no,
Like he did. I mean, what really got me is the way Clara was facing him and saying, "I will never give the Doctor up. He's the most important man to me on the planet."
yeah,
And then Danny just opens it, shows his face,
yeah,
and he's all, his face is all stretched, and he's crying, and Clara realizes what she's done. And the reason why Danny wants to get rid of his emotions is because Clara just hurt him.
yeah,
Oh, it's so sad.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because of what Clara just said, he wants to die. You know, it's like emotions are, you know, and then when the Doctor arrives, he very much.
Which was an awesome arrival.
Yeah, it
From
was.
falling down.
Yeah,
into the TARDIS.
falling down into the TARDIS and then basically putting his key in the TARDIS in midair. You know, so I think that was a brilliant entrance. But the Doctor basically tells this brilliant speech about how pain is an asset and how pain can be useful to Danny. Danny pretty much sees right through that, and he pretty much knows that the Doctor is saying that to get a result out of it. He is pretty much saying that so that Danny can tell the Doctor Missy's plan. He doesn't care about Danny or anything like that. And if you think about it, the Doctor says that quite a lot of times to sort of get a result out of something rather than actually the emotion is sort of sweeping him out of the moment. You know, it's the same as back in Listen when the 12th Doctor was saying to younger Danny how fear is a superpower, you know, and he's pretty much doing the same to him here, you know, sort of basically cheering him on to say fear, pain, it's a good thing, and you know, it's pretty much what happened in Listen. He said fear was a good thing, and that was only to get a result out of him.
Yeah,
you know, that's that's pretty much something that I think Danny is brilliant at doing. Danny is brilliant at bringing out the worst in the Doctor, and the Doctor even realised the worst he was getting. So
yeah, and the way that the Doctor left it to Clara, and Danny said, "Oh yeah, a soldier doesn't get his hands dirty, or a general doesn't get his hands dirty," and he leaves it to Clara. And Clara actually asks him, "Do I just press the button and think?" And he just says yes. The Doctor he turns his back in shame,
yeah,
and lets Clara do it to her own boyfriend.
exactly. I think Danny has just absolutely made his character in this. A lot of people have said that there's been no defining characteristic towards Danny besides him being a soldier. A lot of people have said that about his character, but I disagree, because I think he has really sort of pulled up a mirror to the Doctor and sort of said, "This is the man that you are. You said that so that you could get a rise out of me, and that's not going to work." So, you know, I think Danny has definitely pulled up a mirror towards the Doctor and has made him feel ashamed of that. So I think this Samuel Anderson has given absolutely stellar performance as Danny throughout the season, and I think his demise in this finale has been just probably. It's up there with one of the saddest departures in Doctor Who. I think.
It's very brilliant. Heroic as well.
Yeah, it's a very heroic death, and I think Danny has definitely made it in Doctor Who.
Yeah, one of the scenes that I've actually want to talk about. This happened before this, but when Clara first arrived in the graveyard, the direction.
Yeah.
The scene where she's walking around and you can see bits of Cybermen. I mean, that's how you make the Cybermen scary.
Yeah.
And I think,
as much as I love you, Neil Gaiman, that is how you make Cybermen scary.
I just have to point that out because I think that the Cybermen, you know, they needed to be made scary, and although they didn't kill people, that scene was one of a few which really brought out how scary they were. And the fact that we've always said that they walk like doof, 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 really out and you can hear them coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
But yet in that scene the direction was done so well, and I think that brought out the scary side of them.
It really was. I mean, in terms of Cybermen stories, this is up there with this is probably my second favourite Cyberman story next to Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel back in Series 2. This is definitely up there with my favourite Cybermen stories, besides Earthshock, really, because Earthshock is my favourite. But no, I believe that this is definitely up there because you're right. The direction, the way the Cybermen were treated in that graveyard scene when Clara first arrived, I thought it was scary and rather intimidating.
Yeah, I personally think it's very difficult to make the Cybermen scary in New Who, because if you look back at the 60s, that was my favourite time for the Cybermen, because in black and white they suited it so well.
They suited the black and white format.
Yeah, I think in episodes like Tomb and Moonbase and the 10th Planet, I think they were fantastic.
Earthshock.
Yeah, well, Earthshock as well. But black and white stories, I think, brought the best out of them. So it's difficult to make them scary and new, and I think that scene did that.
Yeah.
But then Mary Poppins arrived.
Literally with an umbrella.
Yeah.
And wasn't there a slight remix of Sherlock music in there?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but I could have sworn I heard
Mary Poppins arrived and gave the Doctor a gift.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the gift that she gave the Doctor?
Well, as you are definitely going to say, that was a good way of completing the arc throughout the season, which was first posed in the second episode, which was, is the 12th Doctor a good man? And that posed that question to the Doctor, and it defined him in a way, and I think it made the 12th Doctor finally sure what sort of man he was. That is something that he has been questioning about himself all season. And it's something that has really brought the season full circle, I think. And this is one of the many, 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 many reasons why Season 8 is up there with my favourite seasons in Doctor Who over the last 10 years it's been back. So yeah, it has definitely been up there because it did this gift, although wasn't fully explained and I didn't exactly see the purpose in it, but it still did its job, and I think it sort of really did make the Doctor question himself again, and there's never enough moments for that for me.
Yeah, on his birthday as well, which was interesting. But yeah, I like the way that it flashed back through Series 8, him questioning if he's a good man, and part of me thought that the 12th Doctor might actually use this army to his advantage.
Yeah.
A slight Waters of Mars moment kind of crossed my mind, and then he had such a great 12th Doctor moment. I mean, many people are saying this is his Doctor moment, and we've said our Doctor moments came 12 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it when he was saying, I'm not a good man, I'm not a bad man, I'm an idiot, with a box and a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And he throws it to Danny.
Yeah.
And Danny does what I loved about his speech is it's near enough exactly the same as the first lines that Danny ever had in Doctor Who in Into the Dalek with the cadets.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he's saying, "You miserable lot," and he sends them up into the sky and says to Clara, "You will sleep well." It's such a great speech.
Yeah.
From both the Doctor and Danny.
It really is. I mean, the fact that the Doctor had just flung the bracelet over to Danny and I thought was really, really good. And I thought that Danny was a soldier one last time.
Yeah.
And I think that was very, very good of him. Now Missy's demise. This will probably be a future video at some point.
First of all, the Cybermen destroying the clouds, though.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah. I liked that. I didn't think it was a cop out. I thought it was a very, very good way of ending the episode, and
weird for Moffat.
But Moffat not copping it out. Moffat, are you feeling okay? But yes, so the Cybermen flying up, of course, CGI awful, but the clouds, the Cybermen then exploding and then basically saving the entire planet. I think it wasn't a cop out, and it was a really, really lovely moment, and again, it did its job.
Yeah, I liked how that Missy was showing off to the Doctor that she has this power and she can basically control a whole fleet of Cybermen with a click of her fingers, and the Doctor basically used that power blatantly against her. I thought was quite clever. And once again, not blooming cop out. So where were you with Missy's?
Yes. Now Missy's demise at the end of this being destroyed by the mystery Brigadier Cyberman. Well, that's the thing. If you look back to earlier on in the episode when she's zapped out of the aeroplane, that it was a sort of blue, sort of fizzy-looking transition where she was zapping out of that place, and it was the same look that looked as when she supposedly died. So I don't think we've seen the last of the Master. And as Moffat did say when he said in Doctor Who Extra, he said, "I would never trust the Master when he supposedly lays down and doesn't breathe."
Yeah.
So I think the Master will definitely be back. At least we know that his return is definitely open. So
they've always got to leave it open. They've always got to do that.
They always have with the Master. Yeah, that's always got to be left wide open.
But Brigadier, it's split opinion because a lot of people are saying it's disrespectful to the character. It's disgusting. They should bring him back. His character's done.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean,
it was. Yeah.
How earlier on, that Kate was saying, he always wanted you just to salute him, and the Doctor looks up and salutes him, and he puts his head down and flies off.
Yeah.
I just cannot help, as a fan, as much as I try and dismiss it, I just cannot help but get so nostalgic and think, it's Brigadier!
Yeah.
And the Doctor said, "My darkest hour, where else would you be?" It's
Yeah.
just, the fan side of me just has to love that scene.
I mean, although God knows what could be underneath that Cyberman, just a stuntman with goofy teeth and maybe a deformity. But I don't know. I don't know who could have possibly been the man inside that Cyberman suit. But the idea that that's the Brigadier, I think is enough. You know, I think
it's not really confirmed.
Yeah, it's not really confirmed, but I think the idea the concept that is Brigadier, I think was beautiful. I think was really, really beautiful. And as Moffat said, that is something that the Brigadier would do. And again, it's calling back to on the plane when he said, you know, he just wanted to salute him one last time. I think was really, really good.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And talking of beautiful moments, Danny saving the kid's life. I think that was the perfect way to round off his character, because if Danny had walked through that white, and I don't know why, if any of you guys have seen the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, it reminded me of that so much, the way that they had the ghostly white smoke and he walks out. But yeah, if Danny would have walked out of that and he'd have been reunited with Clara, it would have just ruined pretty much all of the Danny Cybermen scenes.
Yeah.
And the fact that the little kid walked out and Danny said, I have a promise.
Yeah.
And he gave, he is the one who killed that kid, and now he gives him life again.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
What a well-written character Moffat's done.
It is. Danny Pink has definitely been one of the best written characters this season. So yeah, it has been absolutely brilliant. So moving on to the Doctor and Clara's sort of goodbye, and I think that was an absolutely beautiful scene. The fact that the Doctor was of course lying to Clara, saying that he had finally found Gallifrey, which of course he didn't, and the way he was just pounding on the TARDIS console, and the Master gave him hope, and now it's just been crashed down again. I think is perfectly describes not only the Master, but I think will just strengthen the Doctor all the more to find Gallifrey.
Yeah, I think it's a reason for him to want to find it even more, and it progresses that story arc. But I think this episode's full of scenes that have made so much impact.
Yeah.
And the ending where the Doctor's, the quote of the episode is the Doctor, Clara says, "Why don't you like hugs?"
Yeah.
And he said, you can hide your face.
Yeah, never trust
a hug.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic quote, because they were both hiding their face because they were lying to each other. And although that's clearly not going to be the last we see, because apparently Clara's in the Christmas special, whether or not Jenna's just been fibbing us the entire time, I'm not sure, but that's the perfect way for them to end. And I think if Clara comes back and spends another adventure, it would ruin that ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like you said, that's a perfect ending. Which then saw the appearance of Nick Frost as Santa Claus.
Yeah, now I just have to say this. I think Stephen Moffat can't help but reference his other stories in certain ways. Sherlock, he did exactly the same thing in the Rack and... No, it wasn't the Rack and Back Fall, sorry, that was season 2, sorry. The season 3 finale, he stopped the Sherlock credits right in the middle to reveal that Moriarty was back. So he did exactly the same here, stopped the Doctor Who mid titles, which
they loved messing with the titles in this episode.
Yeah, they really did. But yes, Nick Frost being revealed as Santa Claus. Now, you know my opinions on, all this Christmassy shit being in Doctor Who, and now they've went and done it again. They've went and I don't know, it's a grey area for me here, because
it's Nick Frost,
I don't
God's sake.
Exactly. I mean,
if Santa Claus was played by anybody else, I would be hating the idea.
Yeah,
but if
it was actually some really old guy who they got to grow a beard and go ho ho ho, I think that would have definitely been ruining it for me. But the fact it was Nick Frost, and I love Nick Frost so much, I've got the Cornetto trilogy and I love it so much. I've watched Cuban Fury and I've got to start watching Mr. Sloan. It's a TV show he does on Sky, and I've really got to start watching it because seriously, he is such a talented actor. And to play Santa Claus, he was rumoured to be playing Santa Claus before, and so I think playing Santa Claus, it's a grey area, because I really don't know, because Santa Claus, he's the king of Christmas, and I really, really don't like all this Christmassy fairy shit in Doctor Who Christmas specials, but it's Nick Frost, and the irony of him being called Nick Frost, it's,
and that Santa Claus is Saint
Nick.
Nicholas.
Yeah. Oh
Wow.
my God, the irony in
it's,
that is immense.
Briefly talking about the I wouldn't say it's a next time trailer, but the Christmas special trailer, the monsters look creepy. It has an essence of scary Christmas, which I
Yeah.
like. At least it isn't all happy sleighs,
Yeah.
freaking Santa Claus, all this
Yeah,
crap.
I know what you're
But of
getting to.
course, it has Santa and the elves in North Pole. That's where they make all the presents, and it's
Yeah.
just a part. I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
Right now,
I really am.
I'm not saying anything.
I mean,
yet.
I can't be hypocritical and say, yay, Santa Claus, elves, because I was pissed off with a town called Christmas last year. So, you know, I really, really can't be hypocritical about this. So I am going to say my opinion's honest and true. Santa Claus with elves in Doctor Who, I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, but of course it's Nick Frost, so Nick Frost may override my opinion, but we'll just have to wait till Christmas Day. So then, on to our conclusions. Would you like to go first?
I'll go first. Okay, this is quite a long one, guys, so sit back. Death in Heaven.
I'll go get a drink.
Yeah, Death in Heaven did the perfect job to what a finale should do and round off Series 8 really well. The story itself was done really well with a few small faults. It answered many questions throughout the series and answered if 12 was a good man. The Doctor, as always, was flawless in this and tackled the Master very well. The Master was extremely evil and sinister in this and was portrayed brilliantly by Michelle Gomez, but the Master's motives were rather underwhelming, as was the lack of screen time and effect the character had on the actual story. The Cybermen made their best appearance yet since Series 2, looking very scary, which was helped by the great direction, although I was expecting them to kill a few more people. Unit's return was done very well and brought good nostalgia to the story, but like the Cybermen, they didn't have too much effect either. My favourite part of the story was Danny being a Cyberman, which created so many emotions between the characters and caused the solution, which was executed well. Missy's death and Brigadier saving his daughter was handled well and created more questions, which is left to our own imagination, which I think was the correct way to handle the ending. Danny letting the child live was the perfect way to round off his character. Finally, the Doctor and Clara's separation was done well, as was Missy lying to the Doctor about Gallifrey, which progressed the story arc well. Overall, this episode closed a brilliant series and did its job. Of course, it wasn't perfect, but it's without a doubt Moffat's best finale yet. Death in Heaven on its own gets a 9 out of 10, and the finale as a whole also gets a 9 out of 10 from me.
Well then, I've got my drink. But yeah, my conclusion: Death in Heaven was a season finale that is easily beaten Moffat's other finales. Not difficult. There were a few underwhelming points to the episode, such as Missy being the one who had put the Doctor and Clara together. That motive of Missy's was never explained, and the less said about the changed opening titles, the better. Osgood and the return of Unit didn't really affect Missy's plan at all, and they didn't serve much purpose except to give a little bit of nostalgia to the episode with a few beautiful yet I think unneeded Brigadier references, but yet still beautiful, and also to give Missy some merciless kills and to get blown up in a plane. But still, Osgood's death was sad and shocking, but it showed that the Master is truly merciless and bananas, helped with the brilliant performance by Michelle Gomez. Peter Capaldi has defined his Doctor in this episode with his ending speech by showing everything we love about him and more. Danny has shown a sad departure from the show, and seeing him under the suit made it even more emotional to watch. Overall, this has been a more than worthy end for Capaldi's first season and the Doctor itself, but has defined the series as up there with my favourite yet. I give Death in Heaven separately an 8.5 out of 10, but as the finale as a whole, I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow, okay. Well, there you are, guys. That is our review of Death in Heaven and the last review of Series 8.
Oh my God, it's been such a long journey, hasn't it? All
really
the way
has.
from Deep Breath, we have had our fair share of abuse in the comments section, but please be kind. So then, guys, we hope you enjoyed this review of Death in Heaven, and we hope you all enjoyed our Series 8 reviews in general.
James.
No.
James.
No.
It's okay.
No, it isn't.
We've got a Christmas special in just over a month.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got Santa Claus in it.
Yeah.
And elves.
Yeah.
And bells and
Yeah.
reindeers and the North Pole.
Yeah. And it's written by Stephen Moffat. It's Nick Frost. It's Nick Frost. So then, we hope you guys have enjoyed our Series 8 reviews and previews here on Who Addicts Reviews. It has been a hell of a journey, but in my opinion, it has went way too fast.
Yes.
From Deep Breath to Death in Heaven, whew, it's just went way too fast. But if you're like me and Matthew and are going to get Series 8 on DVD anywhere, it won't be long till we can watch Series 8 all over again.
Yes, and we can all be depressed together by the fact that it's all over and Capaldi's already been the Doctor for nearly a year.
Don't. So then guys, please do like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment in the section below what you guys think about Death in Heaven and what you would rate Series 8 as a whole.
Yes, and also on the channel right now, we did a video yesterday, which is us discussing what is going to be happening on the channel in the future. So if you've not checked that video out, it's on the channel right now.
So then, we hope you have enjoyed Series 8 with us. It has been absolutely brilliant sharing it with you, but see you next time.